everyone. Good night. Uh, Thank you for being here again. And let's see. Well, tonight I'm going to keep it a little bit, I'd say, shorter than usual, I guess, because I'm very tired. So it's probably not. Oh, maybe it depends. Maybe you know, with me it's always a little bit. Taking longer than I expect. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just checking if I'm actually on. I think so. Yeah, it's probably working. So I hope you're all enjoying your weekend so far. um, so yeah, I wanted to share a few things about spirit aspects, um, and why they choose to have different aspects, or it's not always a choice perhaps, but sometimes a necessity too, um, and sort of how that works for them. And I don't, this is my view, so there's different. Some people don't believe that the spirits have different aspects, for instance, but I do. Um, and I respect their beliefs too, of course. But this is just you know, my point of view, kind of from my own experiences, combined with what spirits told me and showed me. I'm just going to try and pass that on as good as possible. Hey, Hombrecito. Hey, I see Nina is here. Hi, Miss B. So yeah, why? There's several reasons. Um, the first, I'd say, it's very simple, um, or at least I would call it simple. And in the meantime, I would like to sort of invite. I'm gonna do something like, I always have a spirit over. Like I want to have like a guest spirit each time. And for tonight, I'll just give a little offering to Bilial, and especially because through him I learned a lot about these aspects, and I will probably take his being as a good example, like of. Well, it's not, of course. Every spirit is different at that, but yeah, I learned a lot about the how and why from him, also from Lucifer and King Paimon mostly, and some others as well. But Belial definitely had a big part in that, in yeah, teaching me about aspects and names and different phases of spirits, and also just it's about time for him to have some attention to him as well. So as I'm talking, I will be giving him a nice little beer. And as you can see, I placed his incense. I'm not sure if his incense is visible. I like to place the incense on his sigil sometimes. Now, there you go. Cheers, Belial. Taking a sip for myself as well. So, one of the reasons is simply that different people, different cultures, from different parts of the world look at the same spirit through different eyes, um, through different needs, just yeah, a different point of view, and they give that same spirit their interpretation basically. So it's like what I wanted to say to show Need to be done with this first. So if you look, yeah, I can, as you can see, I suck at multitasking. So how long I leave the beer there for? It's usually a few days. It's just uh, until it starts growing legs, sometimes, or just uh, it's I kind of follow my intuition on that. If it's starts to smell, I remove it, but usually it's just for a few days or something. So here's some blood for Belial. Got some nice dragon's blood as well. I'm not stalling. I'm just not good at doing several things at the same time. I'm not a very typical woman at that. I cannot multitask. So as you can see, just to illustrate my point, if you take this bottle here to see if it's actually, you know, this is one bottle of beer, and I got dragon's blood incense on my hands, so don't worry about that. Um, is the audio bad? Can you hear me? Or I think you can hear me properly. I never had any problems with the audio before, so I don't know if that's. Just let me know if there's any problems with that. So anyway, um, take this bottle for instance. Say this is the spirit, like the core being, and it is the same bottle, but everyone from around, depending on the perspective, has a different view and sees a different part. Um, there's this is the front part. But if you see it from this side, you see something else, you know? But it's still the same bottle, it just looks slightly different, but it's still the same. Still the same thing. Um, and, that goes all around like that. And the same counts for a spirit. They connect to Earth from a certain point. It's like different cultures looking at that same spirit with from different directions, seeing a different part of them, and that is kind of how one like this is just a very simple one of the many reasons how spirits can be differently interpreted by different cultures and different people. And well, for instance, some people who have seen a lot of my videos probably know that I am personally convinced that it's slow still. What I don't really know this on here. It's on full, so I don't know how to. There's that. Can you hear me talk properly? Maybe I need to move closer, if that helps. I do have I have a bit of music on in the background that is very. Maybe if I switch that off. That helps. Maybe it's sort of automatically. Is it different now? Well, we'll see. Okay, so I'm sorry if that was. I think it has to do with that I was playing music, and I need to change some of the settings. That's for some reason, I think it automatically, like the program automatically muted the microphone or something. That's very weird. I never had that problem, but it had this. The software had an update, so that could be it, like some new feature. So anyway, so I hope you all at least heard what I said about the bottle thing, like being viewed from a different, you know, from a different point of view. Exactly, hombrecito. That's what I was saying. That's what I mean to say. Um, I just lack the English skills to put it in words as you just did. But yeah, it could have to do with our position. Not it doesn't have to do with like physical position on the globe per se. I don't think that really matters. But um, what does matter is like the culture that you grew up in, perhaps, and the needs and the well, just everything that makes a culture a culture, you know. So some of you probably know I am personally pretty much convinced that Poseidon and Belial are different masks or different aspects of the same being. As you can see, I got a shell that I always use for Belial, and I kind of use it for Poseidon as well. And that's kind of takes me to the next reason or way that spirits may choose to have different aspects and names is to um, for them it is a way to act out different uh, to polarize also it's like for balance but also to act out different personal like personalities. Sometimes I would say it's even based on a certain emotion. Like, I would say that it could be uh, that, for instance, Poseidon is like seen as very serious and one like a main deity within his pantheon as well. He plays an important role. Um, and the less well, I'm not saying like that Belial is less serious, but the lessons that he teaches and the way he behaves is not something that Poseidon really would get away with. It's like almost that yeah, that being would need Belial to might probably need Belial to express that sort of emotion or that sort of the trickster thing, but also to express a certain darkness that he cannot. He may not. I'm not sure about that, but he may not be able to express that as Poseidon as much. So sometimes it's like acting out a role, um, sort of wearing a certain costume that allows you to do this or that better than when you're just yourself, I'd say. Hey Tisha, yeah, I'm sorry. I was a little late actually already, but I'm doing it a little earlier than usual today because I would like to get some sleep earlier than usual. So I hope this makes sense. The things I'm saying, I'm kind of getting it like on the go as well. So I think actually of what I was saying about Belial and Poseidon, I think, for instance, King Paimon is a good example of that from my point of view. Um, I see him as a demonic or darker version of the Egyptian god Ptah. And as Ptah, he is so very much seen as the kind one, the friendly one, the one with the friendly face. That's kind of the job he plays there, or the role he plays. And if he were to act out anger, maybe to create a different, have a different aspect, um, like separately, to be able to act out things that would be kind of, well, not entirely impossible, but it would be very much of a hassle to do that as Ptah. Like, yeah, just playing different roles, and maybe having to polarize. I keep wanting to say crystallize, but I think a good word for it would be like an alter ego. Is that an English word actually? Alter ego. It's like, yeah, humans do that too, in a way. Like playing dress up, but in a very more serious way. Wilsito, I'm not exactly sure if I understand what you're. You need to make it more simple for me, because I don't understand the words, basically. You see, that's a bit of a downside of English not being my native language. If people start using difficult words, I don't always understand what it means. I have to look it up. I'm not sure what volatility. I don't really know what that means. So if you could make it simple for me, that would be nice. So yeah, that's another reason. Also, sometimes they have to reinvent themselves, and that way it's less of a choice, but more of a way of survival. And especially as cultures keep changing. Ethan, you mean instability and volatility is the same thing? I'm still not exactly sure what you mean with that question. Or so, yeah, I don't know. How could Earth exhibit volatility? I mean, isn't, yeah. Yeah, exactly. But isn't Earth? Um, I I don't think Earth is very stable right now. So I think it already is expressing that, basically. Um, I mean, it's constantly. Maybe it is stable. I don't know, but oh, it's not a word. Okay. um, yeah, what I was getting back at. Um, where was I? I keep getting distracted. Um, I need to make notes to like keywords of what I wanted to say. Exactly. How can light express darkness? it would be easier to, you know, I indeed for a light spirit, if they want to express darkness, it might be easier sometimes to create a dark aspect instead. So, yeah, I remember where I was now. Um, it also has to do with anchoring themselves and reinventing themselves, as some of them rely on contact with us, on contact with this planet to be able to keep coming here. Now, if they want to keep coming here, that's another subject, because not every spirit really cares for that, but some do, and those that do, um, as cultures change, and oftentimes with a change of a culture uh, comes destruction. Temples getting destroyed. It happens all the time, with the new regime and stuff. Like suddenly the old religion is forbidden and the new one comes, and every spirit or god or deity that the old culture used to worship or work with gets either demonized or forgotten, destroyed, stuff like that. The temples, like the sacred places get destroyed. So, what a spirit must do then, in order to not be forgotten or to still remain in contact, is to reinvent themselves and make sure that they don't rely on just one culture and one pantheon. You know, they have to spread themselves and throw out several anchors instead of just the one. And if the one gets destroyed, they have to make a new one. And maybe in some cases they don't really care, but I think typically the spirits that we work with do. Yeah, I think King Paimon does care because he's still here. Um, Otherwise, he wouldn't be here, I'd say. He wouldn't be still contacting humanity. So, and I'd say King Paimon has been pretty good at reinventing himself throughout the ages. Um, if you keep in mind, as Beta, he's not. He was very big, but eventually, monotheism took over. Um, first, I think Ra got more popular. I mean, he used to be a god of creation, basically. So that's. But right now, he's doing quite well in the demonic pantheon as well. So it's good for him, and he's gaining popularity at that. So I think, yeah, in that case, he's doing good at survival. Another one, it's something that Lucifer told me. It's not much of a reason, but more of like how it works. I asked him about it a while ago, and he said, you know, it's like similar to our egos and incarnations. Um, this kind of goes back to, we have our own higher selves, our souls have similar reasons to keep incarnating. I mean, it's, from the getting back to the idea that they create these aspects in order to express something. It also has to do with, they too are still learning, and they too um, want to experience similar ideas, similar jobs, similar tasks, similar things to do from different points of view through different names and different personalities, but still being themselves, which is kind of similar as to humans incarnating in order to um, have a life experience. But with each life, you experience Earth, you experience, well, what makes life life, I suppose. But every time you experience it in a different way. You experience it with a different name, a different background. You're born on a different location, time zone, everything. So that's in that way it's kind of similar. And outside of our bodies, with our higher selves, we too have all these many aspects. Um, Outside of that, our complete souls have many, many names. If you take in account every name that we ever had. And that's kind of, it's another thing that Lucifer told me about this, is that it's kind of also, I asked him, like, how do you address a spirit? Like, do you have to keep in account all their names, or does it matter? And he said it's kind of like just that right here, in this here and now, I am Nicolien, and I'm in the Netherlands at this moment. It's 2019, and my name is Nicolien, and his name is Lucifer at this point. But when you step outside of that space-time continuum, you're sort of everything at the same time. So I'm not sure. It's not easy to explain, but this is sort of how I see these things. And it's also like sometimes these spirits, like if you look at Belial, I can pretty much see it's like he is still doing similar jobs throughout several pantheons, but just, I would say he's kind of playing with the different personality experiences, like the difference between Poseidon and Belial, like basically they are very, very similar. There is so much similarity between them, but they're like the dark twin and the light twin or something. It's yeah. So it's I'm keeping this a little bit short today. If you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know. So I hope I made it clear. It's not an easy subject, I think. I'll just wait in case the chat is lagging a little. Kind of the reason is that I brought up this subject is that I recently discovered another aspect of King Paimon that is so I haven't like I'm not sure if I'm supposed to like share it yet, or if I haven't really got very like 100% confirmation, but it's exactly like um, I think it shows how much I think that for King Paimon that he makes these aspects in order to express mostly to express things that don't fit the personality of the other, you know. Basically, all right. I can give away that this aspect I found out is very much a trickster and a liar, like kind of like Belial. Many people would probably connect him to Belial instead, but it kind of made me think if maybe every spirit has a trickster side to them, and you know, as King Paimon, um, or as I would say, maybe even better example, as Ptah. As Ptah, he cannot, like, it doesn't suit him to be a trickster. You know, it doesn't suit a very um, light, light side of the spectrum god, Egyptian god, to be a trickster spirit. So in order to express that, probably um, he had to use that aspect that I just found out about. So yeah, it just kind of made me realize that maybe every spirit has a certain, or maybe has needs to express several archetypes. Yeah, that I think that's the right word, archetypes. So hey, dark dreams. Yeah, I'm about to kind of wrap it up a little bit. So yes, sometimes people. It does make sense, of course, that uh, people people connect spirits that are the same archetypes, like names that represent the same archetypes throughout uh, several pantheons, that they are automatically the same spirit, but it can pretty much go crisscross. I think spirits need that difference in expression as well, difference in experience as much as we do, and you know, for balance as well. That's I think I forgot that one. You know, spirits need balance, so a very dark spirit might have a very light aspect somewhere, and it might be completely like something you wouldn't expect on, you know, at first, but then it's kind of also where energy signatures come in, and sometimes they'll just tell you straight away. It's kind of what happened for some reason with me. They they just tell me, like, it's like they enjoy telling me who they are and what all their names are. So, and I enjoy finding out about that. It's just it's exciting to me. So yeah, let me see. Hey Friar, in Dark Dreams. You see, I think I'm starting to repeat myself. I really, really need to get some sleep. So I hope this all makes a bit sense. It's I can kind of hear myself rambling at the same time. So Hey, yeah, my hand is a little better, if you can see, but I tried shea butter. I don't. I will keep the lavender oil in mind for next time. So I didn't have lavender oil at hand, so but I will give it a try. So anyway, I am going to get some sleep, and yeah, in case you have any more questions, feel free to leave a message in the comment section. So and yeah, I just hope it all makes sense. I noticed this is kind of these things where probably I should have made some notes before I started, but I don't know. I like to just go live and see where it goes, you know, with the risk of sounding, as they say in Dutch, like a chicken with the head cut off, like just going everywhere. But, well, that's me. So, thank you guys for watching, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. A good